Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. The sensex and the Nifty declined for the third straight day, losing 2% this week. The mid-cap index down 6% this week. All sectoral indices, barring the IT index, end in the red. The rupee continues to weaken against the dollar, hitting another record low. It's now just 3 paise away from the 86 mark against the greenback. Crude oil prices rise, moving closer to $80 a barrel. TCS management says discretionary spending is picking up in banking and retail a day after the IT giant reported a stable Q3. Says 2025 will be a better year. TCS CEO K. Krithivasan says deal pipeline remains strong despite a marginal quarterly dip. The stock gains close to 6%. The Supreme Court orders a stay on show cause notices worth 1.12 lakh crore rupees against online gaming companies. Says no further proceedings should be carried out against the companies till the court arrives at a ruling. It will take up the matter on the 16th of March. Petroleum Ministry seeks 35,000 crore rupees from the Finance Ministry as compensation for LPG under recoveries of oil marketing companies. Sources say fuel retailers expect fiscal support in the budget, which is scheduled to be tabled on the 1st of February. The government blames migration of data systems for overstating the gold imports by 131 tons between July and November 2024. Say the migration is still not complete due to some technical glitches.
The 90 hours start from the top, and then if it proves to be fruitful or productive over, let's say, a period of 2, 3, 4 years, if we find that it works as a proof of concept, then let us talk about, implementing it down the line.
If you want a 90-hour work week, start from the top, says Bajaj Auto's Rajiv. Bajaj adds the number of hours at work don't matter, the quality of work does. Many entrepreneurs say longer working hours are biased against women after comments from L&T chairman arguing for a 90-hour week spark an uproar. Israeli forces intensify raids in the West Bank even as the assault on Gaza continues unabated. 490 Palestinians have been killed in the first 9 days of 2025, according to Gaza officials. The overall death toll has now crossed 46,000. Dense fog envelops North India as visibility drops to near zero in the early morning hours. Over 100 flights delayed in Delhi. Train services also impacted. All of that and more coming up in just a bit. But first up, the market action of the day. The consolidation continues on Dalal Street as major indices declined for the third consecutive session. So we saw the Nifty and the sensex both ending the week with losses of about 2%, hitting their lowest levels in nearly a month. That's the Nifty down by 95 points, the sensex losing 241. This is the story as far as the week is concerned. Over 2% loss both for the Nifty as well as the sensex. Mid-caps have seen sharper cuts and the mid-cap index was down by almost 6%. The Nifty IT, though, closing in positive territory. Remember, we've already started to see results coming in. TCS, the first to come out with its numbers in line with expectations. The Nifty IT index up by about 2%. Prashant is standing by now to wrap up the market action. Prashant, a week that's best forgotten for the markets.
Well, it was a poor trading session once again, and it kind of caps out a week which has been pretty tough overall. So instead of doing sort of the regular check in terms of what happened today, let me just give you a snapshot view of what happened during the course of the week and where markets now find themselves from the all-time highs. So it was a down week from the word go, except, of course, 1 day of bounce. The market really did not provide too much comfort at all. The Nifty intraday for today will come up on your screen off the lows, but still down. Bank Nifty, of course, is the weaker of the two indices. It's broken many more support levels. Mid-caps and small caps, though, were the real casualty. They're down between 1.5% to 2.5% in trade, up on your screen. How do these indices track up for the week? So the Nifty is down 2.5%. The Nifty Bank is down about 4.5%. You've got the mid-cap index, which is down 5.7% this week, and the small-cap index has lost 7%. So, as we came into the week, the conversation was that, this wisdom that large caps will do better, mid-caps and small caps, perhaps it's time to rotate out of it. And many were lamenting that that trade has not worked. Well, guess what? Mid-caps and small caps have corrected, but it's not as if money is moved into large caps, so those stocks have started to perform at all. For the week, let me give you a flavor of what was down the most. So in the Nifty, Trent was down 10%, NTPC was down a little over 9%, Tata Steel was down 8%, Ultratech 7.5% cut, and ITC was down about 7.6% for the week as well. Mid-cap, small-cap damage, take a look at this. KEC down 20%, Kalyan Jewellers down 19, Union Bank down 16%, Inox Wind down 15, Policy Bazaar was another one which was down about 15.5%, PCBL 15% cut, JSW Energy 15%, REC, Jubilant and Craver in the 14 and 15% range. I'm sort of not running you through the gainers list. It was a shorter list. And of course, the quantum was quite limited as well. Also, from the highs, the all-time highs, all four indices, the Nifty, Bank Nifty, mid-cap and small-cap indices are down roundabout roughly the same, about 10 to 11% from the all-time highs. I mean, just a few factors as we look ahead. It's, of course, US jobs data later today, which I think will be important, especially in the context of, reducing bets that Fed will cut rates. I mean, the pricing is about 2 rate cuts this year now. Remember, it's an important factor. Dollar is trading above 109. It's a pain point for emerging markets. Trump inauguration in 1 week, 20th. I think that's a big global event. And, of course, you've got the union budget in 3 weeks from now. That is on the 1st of February. Back to you.
Well, yes, it is going to be a big week coming up. Prashant Penny, thanks for joining us. In the money market, the Indian rupee continues to hit another record low against the dollar, and rising oil prices also weighed on the currency. The rupee just 3 paise away from the 86 mark. That's the bond as a market action for you. Now, on to the energy market. Oil prices continue to rise as icy conditions in parts of the US and Europe drove up fuel demand for heating supply. Disruptions have tightened on account of sanctions. That's also pushed prices higher. Prices are on track for a third straight week of gains. Brent crude is now hovering closer to the $80 mark. Now, the Petroleum Ministry has sought 35,000 crore rupees for LPG under-recoveries of oil marketing companies. Sapna joins us now with more details. Sapna, so this is likely to be something that the government may perhaps part with in the budget?
Well, the Petroleum Ministry has sought rupees 35,000 crores from the Finance Ministry in order to make good the under-recovery losses of oil marketing companies on the LPG front. We'll have to wait and watch and see what really comes through. The proposal probably also suggests that the money can come through in 2 tranches. Some part of it in the current financial year and the rest can be taken care of in FY26. If the demand is okayed by the Finance Ministry, it should ideally reflect in the coming union budget. So we'll have to wait and watch and see whether the revised estimates for the Petroleum Ministry change somewhat in the current financial year and what the budget estimates are like for FY26. Having said that, 35,000 crores is the number that we are looking at. So a major part of that should accrue to basically IOC because that's a market leader. So over 50% of that should come to IOC and the rest should be shared between HPCL and BPCL. Having said that, also another thing that we need to keep in mind is that the CP Saudi price has been on the higher side the entire 2024 and the domestic LPG price, domestic LPG cylinder prices have not been revised. So that is where the OMCs have felt the pinch. The numbers had started looking a bit negative right from the Q2 results. The impact had started getting reflected in the bottom line of the companies. We'll have to wait and watch and see what really comes up in the union budget, how much of this relief will be granted by the Finance Ministry to the OMCs.
Sapna, many thanks. Now, the Supreme Court has ordered a stay on show cause notices worth 1.12 lakh crore rupees against online gaming companies. The Apex Court will hear the matter again on the 18th of March. Ashmit is standing by now to take us through what the court said today. Ashmit, what does this now mean for online gaming companies? Certainly relief coming in for now.
Well, indeed, relief coming in, and at least the online gaming companies can rest assured that until a final decision is arrived at by the Apex Court, they needn't fear any coercive action, any recovery action, which in fact was the very concern that they had raised before the Apex Court. They had pointed out that this issue has been pending for a very long time. This case has been pending since 2023, and their concern was that as these notices near their date of recovery, there was a fear that perhaps the tax authorities could begin proceedings against these companies. That's a large figure. We're talking 1.12 lakh crore rupees, could go even north of 2 lakh crore rupees if the penalty component is added. That is spread across 71 companies. Now, these fears, when they were put across to the Apex Court, the Supreme Court saw reason in at least staying the proceedings as of now. The Supreme Court said that this matter, yes, needs to be decided, will be heard finally. But until this judgment finally comes, the Supreme Court said that no further proceedings shall take place on these show cause notices. But the larger issue, of course, still remains. The larger issue being that in August of 2023, amendments were brought about to the GST Act, which allowed for a 28% GST levy on full face value of the entry amount. Can that amendment be applied retrospectively from 2017? That's what the tax authorities are arguing. That's the question that the Apex Court will deliberate on at the date of the next hearing, which is on March 18th.
All right. Many thanks, Ashmit, for joining us. The United Nations has projected that India's economy will grow at a rate of 6.6% in 2025. Private consumption, investment and export growth in services expected to bolster economic activity. The UN's report also projects that growth will rise to 6.8% in 2026. Remember, the government's first advance estimate projected a growth rate of 6.4% in FY25. On to earnings now. TCS's management says the company has seen some improvement around discretionary spending in the banking and retail space, and this comes a day after the IT giant reported a stable set of numbers for Q3. Speaking to CNBC-TV18, TCS's MD and CEO K. Krithivasan said that 2025 is expected to be a better year and that the deal pipeline continues to be strong despite a marginal quarterly dip. TCS's shares were up over 6% in trade on the back of positive management commentary. Take a look.
Current sentiment is more positive on CY25.
So do you think FY26 will be better than FY25?
It should be.
It should be. And client budgets have closed?
I won't say it's closed, but based on the initial conversation with our teams, at least the budgets have a positive upward bias.
Well, that's TCS. British telecom player Vodafone PLC has sold its remaining stake in Indus Towers, raising 2,800 crore rupees from that transaction. The telecom company said it has used 890 crore rupees to fully repay outstanding borrowings to the company's existing lenders that was secured against Vodafone Idea's assets. The rest of the amount will be used to acquire 1.7 billion equity shares in Vodafone Idea via preferential allotment of shares, and this will take Vodafone PLC's total shareholding in its Indian asset to 24.39%. Remember, the government is the largest shareholder in Vodafone Idea. Shares of Adani Wilmar down nearly 10% after an offer for sale by its promoter Adani Commodities kicked off. The company will sell 13.5% stake in Adani Wilmar with an option to sell another 6.5% stake in case of oversubscription. The floor price has been set at 275 rupees apiece. The OFS is being conducted to comply with the minimum shareholding norm. Well, the big macro data of the day, India's industrial activity accelerated by 5.2% in November. This is the highest pace of growth in 6 months and much higher than CNBC-TV18's estimate of 4.1%. Capital goods and infrastructure sectors have led the move. The government has blamed the migration of data systems for overstating gold imports by as much as 131 tons between July and November of 2024. The Commerce Ministry has also said that migration is still not complete due to some technical glitches. The ministry is in the process of reconciling the data. SEBI Chief Madhabi Puri Butch has said that the processing time of mutual fund and IPO applications is significantly reduced over the last few years. Speaking at an event, she also said that the market regulator is looking at using artificial intelligence for faster processing of all IPO applications. Butch also said there's a dependency on IPOs to raise capital and that SEBI has been trying to boost the use of rights issues by fast-tracking the process.
This is from date of first application, and as you can see, there is hardly anything pending more than 3 months, which I am told globally is just amazing. When I attend the ISCO meetings globally, they cannot believe that with the number of applications we get, we are able to turn around everything within 3 months.
Well, that's the SEBI chief. Now, if you want a 90-hour work week, start from the top. That's the word coming in from Bajaj Auto MD Rajiv Bajaj. His comments came after a viral video showed L&T's chairman S.N. Subramaniam advising his employees to work even on Sundays, which sparks an uproar. Speaking to CNBC-TV18, Bajaj said it's the quality of work that matters and not the number of hours that you put in. In a post on social media, Harsh Goenka of RPG Group called the 90-hour work week a recipe for burnout, adding that work-life balance isn't optional, it's essential. Actor Deepika Padukone said it's shocking to see people in such senior positions make such statements. First Global founder Devina Mehra said longer working hours are biased against women and will impact their participation in the workforce. Take a look.
In the pursuit of being competitive, we don't make arguments in a vacuum. It's always relative. So a company has to do what it needs to do to be competitive, and that unfortunately is dictated by the marketplace. But having said that, my point of view to start with would be simply this, that putting in enough work is obviously important, be it 70 or 90 hours or what have you. But at first, to be clear that the hours we are putting in, what is the quality, the efficiency and effectiveness of that? I think that is more critical than the sheer number of hours. For me, qualitatively, it is a more important issue than quantitatively. let's walk the talk. Then let the 90 hours start from the top. And then if it proves to be fruitful or productive over, let's say, a period of 2, 3, 4 years, if we find that it works as a proof of concept, then let us talk about, implementing it down the line. It's a very big problem when, all the big talk happens at the top, but the implementation starts from the bottom. I think that is not fair.
Nobody is recommending a ruler. I don't think 90 hours a week can be mandated. If it is, you lose talent. But the truth is, जब deadline है तो है, जब काम है तो है, वो करना पड़ेगा. Now, nobody is saying and fundamentally 12 and a half hours a day, 7 days a week is not sustainable beyond a week or two.
And I noticed that all the people who have recommended the 70 hours, 84 hours, 90 hours, I checked, all of them are married with 2 kids each. So this is very much a privileged gender saying this, that somebody else will take care of the home, somebody else will take care of the children, and I can work as long as I want.
The quality of work is not number of hours. It's not work-life balance. It's heart and mind balance. And if you have to appeal to the heart and minds of people to get the best work out of them, it's not because of number of hours. I'm sorry, it is completely incorrect. And if I am in advertising, yes, I can have weird hours. That doesn't mean that I work for 90 hours a week.
Well, we've got a special conversation on work-life balance and the debate it's stirring up. That's coming up for you at 5 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. right here on CNBC-TV18. On to the quick commerce wars. Blinkit has launched Bistro, its new 10-minute food delivery app to rival Snack, which is put out by Swiggy, and Zepto Cafe. Now, the app will provide canteen-type food as per the company. It will also operate outside the purview of Blinkit and Zomato. The service is currently live across a few locations in Gurugram. And speaking of Bistro, Zomato-owned Blinkit CEO Albinder Deen has clarified that Zomato will not launch private brands on Zomato's app to compete with its restaurant partners. This comes after the National Restaurant Association of India threatened legal action against Zomato and Swiggy over the launch of private label food apps. Deen has said that Bistro has a standalone team and Zomato restaurant data has not been used for Bistro. Royal Enfield has showcased its electric motorcycle, the Flying Flea, at the Consumer Electronics Show at Las Vegas. The company's partnered with Qualcomm to power its EV with advanced connectivity using the Snapdragon chip and cloud services. We spoke with the Chief Growth Officer, Mario Alvisi, on Flying Flea's design and its partnership with Qualcomm.
We design, build and manufacturing everything in-house in Chennai, so this is very important. But then we decided to partner with some top companies because, this is a software-defined vehicle, and so we wanted to work with the best ones in the market. So Qualcomm immediately came to our mind, and basically we are working in redefining the interaction between the motorcycle and the rider. So Qualcomm chip is helping us to basically enhance this kind of experience.
Well, that's Royal Enfield. And on to Hyundai Motor. It's partnered with tech giant NVIDIA to develop advanced AI-driven technologies for smart mobility and manufacturing. The technology aims to help the car maker enhance capabilities in autonomous vehicles and manufacturing efficiency. The partnership will leverage NVIDIA's accelerated computing, generative AI, and digital twin technologies. We are going to head into a break, but up next, at least 10 have been killed in wildfires burning in Los Angeles. That and more when we return. Israeli forces have killed 22 Palestinians in Gaza in the last 24 hours, taking the death toll to above 46,000. Reports say that forces have killed an estimated 490 Palestinians in the first 9 months of 2025. The military has also attacked a home in West Bank surrounding the area with military reinforcements, including a bulldozer. From one war-torn region to another, Russian forces have killed 4 people in Ukraine after attacking 2 towns in the country. Ukraine has claimed that Russia has launched more than 51,000 guided aerial bombs against Ukraine since the start of its full-blown invasion. Nearly 3 years ago, Ukrainian President Zelensky said meetings with Western allies in Germany had resulted in pledges of an additional $2 billion in military aid. Meanwhile, the incoming U.S. President Donald Trump has said a meeting was being set up between him and Russian President Putin. However, he has not set a timeline. At least 10 have been killed in the wildfires burning in Los Angeles. 5 fires burned for the third night as dry desert winds fanned the flames gathered strength. Over 10,000 structures have been destroyed, including homes of Hollywood celebrities.
The home of Hollywood couple Leighton Meester and Adam Brody went up in flames, while Paris Hilton watched her Malibu beach mansion burn down on live TV. Alongside actor Billy Crystal, they were among the many to lose their homes to the raging Los Angeles wildfires. The blazes, which turned deadly after beginning on Tuesday, have destroyed over 1,000 buildings across the region and have forced over 100,000 people to evacuate, including a number of celebrities. The largest fire consumed nearly 12,000 acres in Pacific Palisades, an upscale neighborhood near Malibu, home to many stars. Nobody Wants This actor Brody and Gossip Girl star Meester have had their reportedly $6.5 million home there reduced to rubble. Pacific Palisades resident Oliver Alnat returned to the area, only to find both his current and childhood home gone.
Had just come from my family home where my mother lives. That was burned to a crisp, so that was the initial shock value. And then I came up to my home and same thing, it's completely dust.
On Wednesday evening, a fire erupted in the Hollywood Hills and quickly doubled in size. Forcing further evacuations, it stretched firefighting resources and water supplies to the limit. Even before this latest blaze, the out-of-control wildfires were some of the most destructive in Los Angeles history.
A terrible tragedy that continues to play out in LA. With that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360. The news will continue here on CNBC-TV18. Do stay tuned. We're back in a moment with more.